What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Down Unders. We got the Brody back again after winning a massive game for you guys this week, or last weekend, my bro. Your personal football team there, Moreton Bay Raiders. Talk about it, bro. How you been, man? Obviously on a big high.
Yeah, bro, very good, eh? Honestly, couple of battle scars, man. My free lip filler's finally gone down from the weekend. So, but yeah, no, we had a good win in our qualifying final. So, week off now while we kick back and wait to see who we play in the grand final in a fortnight's time. So, yeah, very exciting for my personal team. Yeah, very excited for 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, sweet, guys. A shout out to Jazzy. Thank you so much for coming through. All our normal watchers of Down Unders. Appreciate all you guys coming through as well. And you may have noticed Brody has upgraded the old setup here. He's got a really nice audio setup, so please use the emojis in the chat if you're a member. We got all these emojis in that. Chuck them all in the chat. Show them your love for this weekend. Obviously, a massive game this weekend, bro. We will touch about that really, really shortly. Obviously, we go back again versing the Warriors and the Doggies. But the first thing I want to touch on, bro, the biggest news coming into this week, the Immortals is actually being picked tonight from memory. I'm pretty sure it's getting picked tonight. If not, we'll get to see it fairly shortly. Bro, your thoughts on the Immortals? Would you, like, my big question on the Immortals is, would you rather us probably focus more so on the older generation before we start looking at some of the new generations? You know, the shortlist has showed up a couple of players like Cam Smith, Darren Lockyer, Jonathan Thurston. I've seen a lot of, like, you know, Billy Slater. Would you rather see the older players, like, you know, the Ron Cootes of the world? I know we haven't seen those guys personally, but what's your thoughts on that sort of situation there?
Yeah, I think maybe they should have some sort of rule that you got to be retired for maybe 10 years. Let's call it. Say you're out of the game for 10 years. You know, you're still getting that fairly early on in your life. You know, you get that potentially around your 45-ish. Most players retire 35 these days. You know, give it to the older guys, you know, that, you know, there's still a lot of fans out there for those guys and remember those guys. And I think they're definitely more deserving and should be crowned with those honors before, you know, they pass or whatever the thing is there. But I definitely think they should be acknowledged. You know, they started the game, they made the game what it is today. So, yeah, I think for sure that there should be a 10-year ruling. I've seen a few of the guys in this year and I'm thinking, oh man, they only just finished playing. Like, you know, they got plenty of time.
Right.
So
right, that's the biggest thing, bro. Like, you know, when you got players like Cam Smith and that have finished up fairly recently, then you start looking at some of the older guys that probably should have been there in the first place with all this Immortal chat that started off. You know, obviously we saw Andrew Johns get it fairly early on in his career, though. Like, you know, obviously, you know, after retirement, he was fairly young when he got his immortalization. But in these sort of lineups here, like players like Ron Coote, Alfie Langer, Brett Kenny, Peter Sterling, Laurie Daly, Bradley Clyde, like all these guys are incredible players. Like it kind of feels like we're a little bit further on, like when we start talking about Darren Lockyer and that, like I would love to see Lockyer immortalized. That would be amazing. And I think there was a little rule saying that like whether if a player was nominated that many times, they cannot be nominated over a certain amount of times, if that makes sense, which I don't like that rule at all. I feel like, you know, so let's say, you know, Darren Lockyer, if he gets nominated another 5 more years in a row and doesn't get immortalized, he can't get immortalized anymore. I don't think that's correct. I think that, you know, looking at Ron Cootes of the world, I'm not too sure how many times he's been put up for the post, but, you know, players like that, we should be kind of like, at the moment, should be immortalizing the older generation before we start looking into the Cam Smiths, the Billy Slaters of the world, who will be most likely for future immortals in the future. Like, your thoughts on that too? Like, you know, do you like the system they're going on there with the Immortals, comparatively to the Hall of Famers as well, bro? Do you take a lot of, like, you know, thought into those sort of areas of the game?
no, not really, to be honest. Like, obviously, you know, just yourself and what you've watched growing up on who you think definitely is a Hall of Famer and who changed the game in the way you view the game personally. Those guys are what matters to us people as fans. I really don't understand how they do the whole thing. You know, it's not really talked about either. It's not really made a big deal about it. I think potentially the NRL has a lot of chance to make that a bigger area to explore in and really bring the fans into, because at the moment I feel like a lot of them are in the dark and they're just like, whatever happens. But on that ruling, yeah, definitely that shouldn't be a thing. If you get nominated 20 times, you should be allowed to get nominated 20 times until you finally crack it, in my opinion. But, you know, I do understand that they only do it, every 4 years or something like that. Why not do it every year? I don't understand why they don't have like a class of every year. yeah, I don't know what the whole thing about waiting 4 years is. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know the whole situation. It's not really publicized until like the day of, like it is now. So, yeah, there's not too many talking points out there for fans to actually be able to gauge and go off what the NRL select on. So,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of work can be done.
And look at looking at the Hall of Fame class, I'm pretty sure we touched on this a little bit earlier. If not, going through the class now, you see Lionel Morgan, Les Boyd, Benny Elias is someone a bit more like closer to our era, I guess, still like the 80s, 90s there. Stevie Renouf, you got Thursto, you got Cam Smith, you got Slater, Benji Marshall, these guys are our era sort of thing. Cooper Cronk, Greg Inglis, Sam Burgess, any players that obviously, we just touched on like, Darren Lockyers and stuff for the world, but I know within our era, let's say probably we started watching footy probably early 2000s, but going 2010s and that, like the Thurston, Smiths, Slaters, Benjis, is there any like smokies you could probably throw up there to be maybe immortalized in the future? I've seen Rugby League Guru come out and say like it was a hot take and it's more of a prediction for Stephen Crichton that's currently playing for the Doggies, maybe in the future could get immortalized. I think for sure he'll be sniffing around a Hall of Famer for sure, but they obviously want to hold that immortalization to a whole new standard, right? Like above the Hall of Famers. Is there any smokies you want to give out, you reckon, around the era that we've seen for the last, like, how many years? Like, Greg Inglis is definitely a big shout. I think, Cooper Cronk, obviously, the amount of, premierships and that. What's your thoughts there? Any smokies, you reckon?
Yeah, I definitely think you got to look at the big three from Melbourne and Billy Slater, Smith, Cronk, and then definitely Greg Inglis. Man, I think he changed the game in a big way. Just that the athleticism that one player bring and the importance he brung to a team. It wasn't matched by anybody else. And then I know you've got big raps on Darren Lockyer. I mean, where do you draw the line? I mean, if you're only doing 4 or 1 every 4 years, whatever they're doing, you're never going to get round to everybody and everybody that had an impact on the game. So it's just really tough on how you want to select that.
Yeah, exactly. And as I said, like, the ruling around, like, every so many years, and it's not year in, year out. I think the last time we saw the Immortals come out, it was 2018. So maybe it's a little bit longer than the 4-year period that we were talking about just before offline. But that 2018 class had 4 to 5 people inducted. I think they were trying to catch up for the years in between there. And some of the older generation, you probably would have loved to see maybe a little bit more out of that. But shout out to Don. His vote is for Sterlo. Your thoughts on Sterlo? I know we haven't, obviously, we didn't get to see a lot of Sterlo. Obviously, we've read up a lot of Sterlo, winning, the back-to-back-to-back championships back in the day with the Parramatta Eels back in the 80s era. Your thoughts on Sterlo? You reckon he should be definitely up there for a shout, right?
Yeah, I definitely think he should be in there. That Parramatta team pretty much dominated the 80s between them and the Doggies. So, but yeah, Sterling's one of those names where you don't really ever need to watch him play. You just knew that he was something special about the way his peers talk about him. So, I think Sterling should be up there for sure.
Shout out to Joshy, just becoming a Wise Up TV member. Appreciate you coming through, my bro. Feel free to check out the emojis you're able to unlock now with the members program we got going on here at Wise Up TV. And also, I'll be doing a little bit more work with the tiers, sort of, how many months you've actually been following us. You got little tiers and that, so get excited for that. But speaking about Sterlo, bro, the one thing I miss, man, do you remember Sterlo, the show? On Foxtel, where he did he used to do some video breakdowns sometimes. He'd do the mic'd up segment. We saw the Willie Mason mic'd up segment, the Michael Morgan mic'd up segment. Do you remember that show?
I do remember that show. Yeah, I still see it float around my TikTok feed. All the players mic'd up, and it's always a good giggle, isn't it? Especially the Willie Mason one was always good fun. So, there was a lot of shows, that used to be better than probably what we see these days on NRL 360, where it just sounds like fucking children having a bit of a bicker. Like the footy show was always good content. Sterlo was definitely an all right show as well.
Yeah, 100%. I miss seeing Sterlo, consistently on our screens, week in, week out. I thought he was always a really good voice of the game. He didn't really have crazy takes out there. He just went about his business real nicely and real constructive criticism around the players. He showed video and the breakdown and that. Really smart footy mind. He definitely deserves a little shout, obviously, with the Immortals coming up later on tonight. Shout out to Nanad. How you doing, my brother? Good to see you in the chat. Question here from Jazz. What's your boys' thoughts of a Kiwi player being immortalized. Bro, any Kiwi players you could see at the moment, you think off the top of your head that could be close to be immortalized? Stacey Jones of the realms, like, you know, Ruben Wiki, stuff like that, baby?
Bro, we don't discriminate. It don't matter.
we don't
discriminate. If you're good enough, bro, you're good enough. It shouldn't matter, in my opinion. So yeah, definitely. I don't know, man. Even Simon Mannering should have a shout out. Like I know maybe not immortalized, but he's potential Hall of Famer. But yeah, Stacey Jones definitely is in that contention for me to be immortalized. But then again, I guess if you're holding immortalized to this top of the top, you got to look at things like premierships, daily M's, and unfortunately, Stacey didn't ever get a premiership. But yeah, Hall of Fame for sure.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Jazzy, put some players in the chat that you think we should get close to getting immortalized from the Kiwis realm of things. Do you reckon Benji would be in for a shout? Obviously won a premiership, was considered one of the best players within that era, like, the early 2000s, late 2000s into 2010s. I think, that was an era that he was the best halfback in the league. You reckon Benji's got a good shout, probably the best shout of a lot of people around the 2000s?
Yeah, well, look, if he starts coaching a different team or just stops coaching the Tigers, that's probably going to hinder his chances on being immortalized. But yeah, I think for sure, player-wise, Benji has a chance of being immortalized one day for sure.
All right, my bro. And before we jump off this topic at all, I just want to go through the shortlisted, from what I've seen a lot of people online, the most likely players to get immortalized this year. Run through a couple of like premiership stats and stuff like that. And, we'll go back and forth and really where our thoughts are just before we jump off this topic. So the first one is Brett Kenny. Obviously, we didn't get to see a lot of Brett Kenny, who was the early 90s to late early 90s, early 80s to early 90s. Premiership career, 265 games, 110 tries, 151 wins with a 57 win percentage with 46 as captain. His finals career, he had a 73% win rate. He won 4 grand finals, so 4 premierships there. Representative career, he had a 94% win rate, bro. So incredible win rate there. For New South Wales, 47% win rate, so nearly a 50% win rate. And we're going on for awards: Golden Boot Award, Clive Churchill, Lance Todd, Dally M Rep Player of the Year, and Hall of Famer. Moving on to Darren Lockyer. So Lockyer had a 66% win rate in normal premiership footy. In finals footy, he had a 51% win rate. He won 4 GFs as well. His representative career in Australia, he had an 81% win rate. And with the Maroons, 52% win rate there. The accolades he's got: Dally M fullback, Dally M 5'8", 3 years in a row for both those there. Clive Churchill there, 2000 Golden Boot winner twice. Proven Summons, Wally Lewis Medal, Hall of Famer. That's some crazy one.
Yeah, that's
looking at Cam Smith, bro, it's crazy, right? Cam Smith is up there to 72% premiership, like 66% in his finals career. Looking at representatives, 61% for the Maroons there. Dally M Player of the Year twice. Dally M Hooker of the Year 9 times. Dally M Captain 5 times. Golden Boot twice. Wally Lewis Medal. Cam Smith just speaks for himself, right? Like, he's Harry Sunderland Medal. Peter Sterling, 67% win rate in premiership footy. 66% in finals footy, 4 grand finals won there. A really good representative career with 90% and 46% for the Blues. Again, a couple of Dally M's, Dally M halfback of the year, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, brother. Incredible from there, Peter Sterling and that. And moving on to Ron Coote, the late and great Ron Coote. So 71% win rate in premiership footy. That's fucking massive. 66% in finals, 6 grand finals won. Bro, his stat speaks for himself as well. So definitely some really good nominations out of those picks there. Lastly, before we jump off, bro, give us a name. What do you reckon?
Oh, let's go with Sterlo.
Let's go with Sterlo?
Yeah, I reckon Sterlo. I reckon Sterlo.
All right, we're going Sterlo, guys. We're going Sterlos here down under. That is our pick for the Immortal this week. I also, a little sneaky one, I'd love to see Darren Lockyer there, but I also would love to see a little bit more, sway to some of the older generation as well before we start talking about the new generation there too. All right, moving on from that, my bro. Obviously, a massive week for both of us. We got the Warriors versus the Doggies, my man. What's your thoughts coming up into this matchup here? Obviously, getting the win over us earlier on this year, 13-12. A lot of things happened in that game. Obviously, probably your team's playing a lot better right now than what it was in that game there. Your thoughts coming into this weekend here?
Yeah, look, Doggies have been on fire. You can't really fault them in any aspect at the moment. The last 3 weeks have been outstanding. So with that said, I'm a little bit worried that, it's probably due for a loss. You can't win forever. So this week could be the week. It's going to be big. It's going to be emotional for the Wires at home. So sending off a lot of guys and Shaun Johnson in particular. So a little bit nervous for that, but definitely think the boys, they can go there to spoil that sort of stuff. They've still got finals to play for. They'll want to still fine tune a few things to make sure that they're fit and ready for the finals. But, for me, I wouldn't mind them having a loss before the final series kicks off. So if we're going to lose to someone, why not this weekend? But I don't think it's going to happen.
Bro, it's going to be a cracker. Obviously, hopefully we come in with a little bit of motion. Shaun Johnson's last game in the Warriors jersey at Mount Smart, which is now being called Shaun Johnson Stadium for this game only. Not forever, guys, just this game only. But also, notable names that are playing their last game in Warriors jersey at Mount Smart. Adam Fanor-Blake will be leaving us next year. Jazzy Tafunga. We won't see Bunty Afoa in this game, but Bunty Afoa, this will be his last weekend there at Mount Smart as well. So shout out to all those boys. We were talking about it last night on All You Can Eat Warriors and just going back and forth. And I know just the feeling around the Warriors fans at the moment, just the way our season is planned out. We're just we're hoping we can get a really nice win you guys this weekend. But there's not a lot of confidence with the form that we've been running in on. And obviously the defensive form that you guys have, if you just crack now being the best defensive team in the competition, you're better than the Panthers statistically. You actually concede less tries than the Panthers statistically. That's an incredible achievement. No other team has done that just yet this year. You still got a couple of games left throughout the rest of the season, but that's an incredible stat. Who do we say to go into this game being confident, thinking that we should get over the top of you guys when your defensive line is just so strong and stout? What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I've seen Billy Slater touching on it all week at the moment about defense wins premierships. So I'm not buying too much into the fact that we can go the whole way, but man, to go from the worst or second worst defensive team last year to the best this year, it's just outstanding. That's all effort, man. You can't train that. That's just all effort. That's all heart. And I'm definitely eating my words from a few of the signings that I thought weren't good ones for the Doggies when I seen them come out in the middle of last year. I wasn't too excited for a few of them, but man, each and every one of them's really ripped in for us and performed for us well this year. So and the stats are just speaking for themselves. So that's only 2 years now under Seraldo. Imagine another 2-3 years under him and what we could be. So excited.
Yeah, and talking about that, bro, if you're looking across your team right now, I know you're in mid-season, Doggy's doing really well, and it's probably, I don't know, it could be a really good time to touch on this, but what do you reckon the key areas coming to the future years that you could probably work on with the Doggies? Maybe a key player that you maybe need to upgrade or something like that. I know you've had such a good year with this Doggies lineup, and maybe just growing together is a really good process for the future. But what's the one thing you probably think that could elevate you guys to being a premiership threat? Because we spoke about your backline last night. Your backline's really, really solid. I'd say that you probably had the one-up majority in your backline there with Jacob Carraz, Addo Carr, Stephen Crichton being the best center in the league right now. Matt Burton, a really great six. Is there any area that you think that's bugging you still? I know we've spoken about this multiple times, but it's a really good thing to think about.
Probably just an enforcer, to be honest with you. A James Fisher-Harris, man, would just put the cherry on top for a team like the Doggies and the direction they're in. I feel like we do lack that punch, especially, with Max King injured. I think somebody like, James Fisher-Harris, a Payne Haas potentially, or Paddy Carrigan, one of those big name fronties that will just own that middle of the field. That I think, and that's no knock to the boys that are there. Curran's been outstanding in whatever position he's playing. Kickout's been killer on the edge. Kurt Mahan's been really ripping in. They've all been good. I can't sit here and name all of them, but every single one of them are playing as a team. But just that solo one scary dude in the middle is I think, would top off the Doggies in my opinion.
And you know what's so cool to hear, bro? Like when we're talking about the doggies coming to this year, I think a lot of talk was around that halfback role, right? And it was just to nail down as someone that can play halfback for you until your juniors come through, and maybe even for the future anyway. With Toby Sexton, like, are you confident with Toby Sexton at the moment? You've seen a lot of consistent footy out of him lately. I feel like he's played some of his best football within the last couple of weeks with you guys. His short kicking games really showed out as well. Like, are you confident him being the 7 for the future, or do you still think that could be an area you upgrade at the moment?
Oh, can't knock the form he's in, bro. He's just not overplaying his hand. He's doing what he needs to do for the team, and that's just it. Nobody's trying to win the games solo. It's all team effort. It's all effort. And a united team, man, will beat any solo superstar team any day of the week. So it's just the chemistry they got going and the belief they have in each other. But I definitely think Sexton's game has grown a lot this year, and he's finding that consistency. So.
Yeah, bro. And like, topping it off sort of thing, like with the Warriors, like coming into this weekend, like, is there any areas of the Warriors, we played again, like we played earlier on in the season. The feeling in that contest was incredible. Like, is there anything rolling into this weekend that you're worried about? Obviously the emotion around the game, maybe for, Shaun Johnson and stuff. Is there a key area that Warriors fans aren't seeing, maybe that you're more so as a Doggies fan looking at and going, this is the area that they could probably come over the top of us in? Like, where are you sort of seeing with the Warriors at the moment? I know we've been in poor form, but the shining light sort of thing?
I think just how easy you guys can make meters upfield, and I think for you guys to really target our middle with a few late offloads as well. I feel like we do a really good job at wrapping up that ball. But for me, I think the way to probably potentially beat the Doggies for you guys in particular is using your AFBs, your Mitch Barnett's to get that short tip on. Draw the numbers in, because we do tackle in big numbers. That's how we do so well around that ruck. So that late offload, or that late tip from someone like AFB or Mitch Barnett, just those little things, man, I think will go a long way against our smaller pack. We do have a much smaller pack. That on top of the emotion around the game, I feel like you guys will definitely be up for it. So I think that's where Warriors could have a bit of success.
And watching Luke Metcalf over the weekend, I know you had limited view over the game against Manly due to, you had some prior commitments and stuff like that. But, seeing a little bit of highlights, Luke Metcalf's game, seeing him come back off injury and that, do you see a lot of good things out of him? Do you think that he has the potential to probably like lead us next year? Him and Tawade Martin most likely to be the halves pairing for the future. Like, are you seeing a lot of positive signs from him? I mean, only just getting back from injury?
Yeah, well, I've seen those signs there last year. Just the amount of work someone like Luke Metcalf does off the ball. He's not afraid to punch that line of somebody drifting across field, and it really just holds up defenders. Even if he doesn't get the ball, he's just making it easier for his middles by dragging that extra number out wider to stop them from coming in. But yeah, I did watch the highlights back. His game was pretty impressive on the weekend, coming back from an injury. And I definitely think you guys can build with him next year. He's got all the confidence in the world in himself as well, and that's what you want from your halves.
And the area we love about him, bro, is speed, man. And you got a speed man on your edge as well. Josh Adokar, obviously see him getting chased down over the weekend, over the hammer. This obviously brings up the massive point, bro. Like, we got the 100-meter sprint getting talked about coming up to the grand final. Firstly, before we start talking about the sprint and maybe contestants that you'd think that would be amazing to watch and who could win that race overall, what's your thoughts on maybe doing the 100-meter sprint for, before grand final and stuff like that? Like, we saw it previous years in the AFL. They used to do that in their little gala days and that before the grand final. They do like their kicking competition and stuff like that. Would you like to see a little bit more out of that from the NRL? Maybe make a bigger weekend out of the NRL grand final?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I definitely don't think it should be on grand final day, because what if guys are playing in that grand final? You know what I mean? So, or pull a hammy doing it leading up to grand final if they've got to play in the grand final. So maybe potentially just, maybe even have it at training filmed and have like an officiator there timing it, not run them all side by side. Maybe just like do a 100-meter dash, time it, send those results in instead of running side by side with people. And then, you just leave it up for discussion that way. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a lot of excitement to build up for, a 10-second race, I guess.
Bro, I'd love it for them to, because obviously in preseason, the guys would be doing like, so like 40-yard dashes or maybe even 100-meter races and stuff like that. just the clubs that come out and just be like, well, this is our. I understand what I don't. I guess maybe a little bit of like scouting getting done by other sides and stuff. But then again, like if you show your quickest player in your club, like you know what I mean, that would be really really cool to see. Like, you know, for us, I'd probably say that Luke Metcalf's probably our quickest player currently right now. I don't see any of our outside backs maybe catching him over a long distance. Like for you guys, like Bronson Sherry's got a bit of speed about him. Josh Adokar, Jacob Carraz's got weird speed about him. He runs like, you know, as we touched on, like Justin Hodges, bro. He's got like
straight up baby giraffe.
yeah, bro. Even Connor Tracy's got a little bit of speed to him too,
He
man.
does
Like
have a bit
he's
of
speed.
speed.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see like how those boys go. Like the rumors with the Broncos that Payne Haas is like leads in all their fitness categories, and I heard he's one of the fastest players in the Broncos as well, which is fucking mental to hear about.
I can see that.
Bro, could you like, it'd be awesome to hear from like the clubs that come out this year, like, you know, before every year and be like, these are our stats, these are our quickest players, stuff like that. But I understand why they don't do it. But with the 100-meter race, bro, give us some names, bro. What do you reckon? Like, you know, I heard Jason Saab, you touched on like before the grand final, Jason Saab's like, well, I probably won't be running in the race because Manly will be making the grand final. So he's all confident in that.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said, bro. That's crazy, hey?
The dude's a comedian as well, man. Fuck.
Get him on that stage, bro. Get him on that stage. Bro, give us some names. What do you reckon? Who do you reckon is probably the favourites coming into that 100-meter race? And give us some smokies, you reckon?
Yeah, I think the favourites have probably got to be the Hammer and Sabi. You know, they're definitely two of the quickest. You know, Hammer never looks like he's very trying. He doesn't look like he's trying very hard. But Saab, man, he just cruises as well. Like the stride, like over 30, you probably think you're going to beat Saab, but over the 100, I don't know. I don't know if anyone's going to beat him. But for me, man, a Smokey's probably Dom Young. You know, he's lightning quick. Kohler from Manly as well. I reckon
he's a big one.
Him versus Saab would be my matchup I would like to see. You know, two different builds. The off the mark speed from Kohler compared to Saab. It'll just be if you can run him down or not. And well, Herbie Farmworth, man, he was probably going to get Adokar if Herbie didn't on the weekend. So, and he came from further out.
Bro, he was incredible to watch in that race. Is, you know, I sent you obviously the clip of, you know, shout out to Levels Podcast, Willie Mason and Justin Horro, and I was talking about it, and they brought it up too. And before this, me and Brody were talking about the fights over the weekend. We're watching the fights on Sunday, and you know, we both are like, no, people, you're like, people weren't talking about Herbie. Herbie was there too. And it got brought up in that potty and you get to see it and, you know, a little joke around. But Herbie's got some speed, man. We saw it with the Warriors live. You know, he had that runaway try. He's got a little bit about him. AKP, yeah, he's definitely one Jazzy. Good little pick up there. You know, Xavier Savage. He's got some good speed to him as well. Apparently, he was breaking records in Queensland, where Gola was breaking records for Australia or New South Wales. I'm not 100% sure where he was breaking records there. But
KO weeks, bro.
If we did KO's got some toe to him too. KO's got some toe.
Alvarado, bro. Jake Alvarado is another one for the Dolphins.
Yeah, their whole backline's got speed to them, eh? The Dolphins, they're a quick-ass backline. If we're going to go front rowers, bro, or just go forwards, who do you reckon's the quickest forward in the competition?
It's probably going to be Payne Haas, bro.
You reckon, eh?
Yeah, he has shown signs of being quick as well. David Fafita as a back rower is very quick as well. But yeah, probably Payne Haas. Maybe Gerbo. Nah.
Get Gerbo out there. Oh, you're a comedian now. No. Was it bro, shout out to Viliami Kikau. Get your boy up in there. You reckon Villy's got some toe to him?
Nah, bro. Nah.
Josh Curran's got some toe to him, bro.
He scored a few tries off some good kicks this year, so I think, you know, Curran's a smoky. I don't know. RCG for the Eels, bro. He's got some toe for a big boy.
Yeah. I heard you guys are looking at him too. Do you hear all the rumors around RCG at the moment and stuff like that?
I hope not, man. He's not the enforcer I was talking about.
I was about to say, there's your enforcer, brother.
Why would we sign somebody like him from the Eels who are struggling? You know, like, I love RCG in the game that he used to have, but I think he's getting a bit long in the tooth. You know, he's starting to be a bit like a David Clemmer for me. And that's not somebody you want at your club either. So, no.
No, not at the moment. And we touched on a little bit on Jazzy Tavanga last night on the show. He didn't confirm. He definitely confirmed he will be leaving the club, as he's done before previously. He's confirmed that he's signed with a club, but he hasn't given out the name yet. He did say somewhere hot, like. I know that, you know, Canterbury. I don't know if Canterbury gets a little bit hot, but would you love to see maybe him at the Doggies?
Yeah, look, Jazzy would do a job.
I guess.
Yeah, look, he would do a job. I don't doubt the effort that Jazzy puts in, week out. So I know Jazzy's all for the boys. So I definitely think he would be good. But again, for me, I don't think the Doggies should look in that. They should just keep investing in their juniors. They've got such a good young squad at the moment. We don't really need that type of experience. You know, I feel like he potentially, if he's talking hot, I think it's going to be the Cowboys. You know, they're losing a few now as well. So I think he's going to be going to the Cowboys. But, you know, Jazzy's solid. He could probably play that Jake Granville role now that he's leaving up north. But, yeah, bro, Jazzy's always been down for the Warriors, bro. He's for the boys. Speaking about for the boys, are you for the boys?
Here we go.
Are you for the boys, Ash?
Come on, what do you got, bro? What do you got? Brody's been talking us up before the show, mate. What do you reckon? Right.
What would you do for the boys, Ash? For the Wars, what would you do? What would you give up? Would you take a risk on their success?
Give me some options, mate. Give me some options.
I'm going to put together a scenario here for you, all right? So let's just say Warriors, they finish 6th, they get a home final, and their chances to win the comp are normal. Would you let that play out? Or would you take the risk for the Warriors to finish first and to win the grand final? Or every time you get something wrong, which is what I'm about to tell you, they drop a position and potentially drop out the finals. So now what you'll be doing, and if you get it wrong, you drop a position, all right? So you will be folding away your missus' laundry, and every piece of clothing you either fold wrong or put in the wrong spot, you guys drop a position. Would you take that risk? Because I know that is not an easy task.
That is not an easy task, bro. And I am so horrible at laundry, bro. Fuck. You've been talking to Kicker, bro. She's obviously, you know, has a lot of things about my laundry game. It's not that great, bro. So what, if I fuck up on laundry, I'm dropping like places?
Yep. So you start first and you're going to win the grand final. But if you get one wrong, you drop to second, and your chances obviously drop to win the grand final. If you get 8 wrong, you could be out of the bloody finals. Or you could leave them at 6 and hope that the boys win it for you. What chance are you taking the chance?
I'll risk it for the boys. I reckon I could do it at 6. I reckon we could. You know what? We'll go first, right? We'll go first.
You're gonna go first, and you're gonna risk the laundry. No,
we're gonna. Oh, this is tough, bro.
Or are you just gonna leave it and hope the boys do well from 6?
I trust in the boys. We'll go from 6. We'll go from 6.
All right. You hear that? He trusts in the boys, but he doesn't trust in himself to get it done for the boys. So Ash is not for the boys.
I knew where you were going with this. I was like trying to throw both ways to see where if you're going to show your hand, but you didn't show your hand, you dirty dog. That's why you're a Doggies fan. Nah, bro, I can't wait for this game this weekend, bro. And I can't wait, obviously, next week's show. One of us is going to be winners, one of us is going to be losers, and we're probably going to hear the Doggies song again next Wednesday. We better not. Shawnee better hit a damn field goal and win this game this weekend.
Just don't give it to Chanel, my brother.
Coming on 18th man, brother. It was 18th man. He's all good.
Hey, there could be a HIA and then the game's on the line, and fuck, I'd be confident. Poor Chanel.
Hey, the HIA is a head clash between Birdo and Shaun Johnson. What do you pick? Who you reckon gets over the top?
Sexto's all good, brother.
Don't you dare call him Sexto. Oh, that's a good one, my bro. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, bro. Just before we jump into all the other, topics we've been touching on today, what was probably the best game you reckon over the weekend? What was probably the big standout performance you reckon? Like for me, I thought Melbourne getting over the top of the Panthers was a big one. Going into halftime, they were in the lead. Then obviously Nathan Cleary going out with the shoulder injury. What was your game of the weekend? Who was your performer of the weekend, you reckon?
Oh, it's got to be the doggies, brother, in my opinion, and that's no bias.
Massive.
30-10 or whatever the score ended up against the Dolphins team that, they had a good win against you guys last week. We took the home game to Bundy and they still couldn't beat us. Gave them home advantage and everything, and we got the job done. Other than that, probably the Cowboys. The Cowboys are pretty impressive over the weekend. The only reason I don't say Melbourne is because you look at the Panthers, they had Dylan Edwards coming back off injury, and they didn't have their two back rowers, and that's probably where Melbourne actually had their success, where Scott Sorensen and Liam Martin were missing from the weekend. So as good as it is for Melbourne, I guess, to get that win, but it was still too close considering those things were against the Panthers and the Cleary injury. And they're expected to win that game this year because they're coming first. So yeah, as impressive as it is, I think somebody like the Cowboys and the Doggies had a more impressive game over the weekend. The Raiders are playing for their season, and the Cowboys put 42 on them. That's pretty incredible.
That was massive. And Jake Clifford came into that halfback jersey and looked on fire. I know I've spoken about Jacko here. I'm not sure if he's in the chat tonight, but obviously he threw up the chance of because Clifford's off contract after the season, and if the Warriors should look at chasing him to fill in at halfback, I don't think we should have gone that way. I think inconsistency's always been his biggest problem. But seeing how he played over the weekend, he's got the potential for sure. Do you think he would be the long-term halfback for the Cowboys? And is it consistency with him that he needs to really work on, you reckon?
I guess I look at him a bit like Sexton, a bit like Sexton, a bit like Ash Taylor. They got the capability there, but it's just too hot and cold. So they've just got to find a system that works for them and a coach that works with them, and that goes a long way, man. It really does. So look, I definitely think he'll get the first crack at it, especially if he can stay in this form for the rest of the year. For the Cowboys, I think they'll probably re-sign him and look at him.
Yeah, agreed. And also other big performances over the weekend. The Roosters getting a decent win over the Parramatta Eels. I'm not want to touch on too much of the game there, as in the players on the field, but did you see the wet weather footy they had to deal with after our game, bro? What were your thoughts over the stadium? That's a new stadium. Yeah. And it doesn't have, what's the go there? That's hectic.
I don't know. I don't fully understand how it happened, because they said it happened from 30 minutes of rain or something, and it was like that. So, that's pretty disappointing, I guess. And, well, it was still a decent crowd considering, but, man,
bro.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Those groundkeepers are going to lose their job, though, I feel.
Shout out to the Chook man for holding in there. But obviously, the rain started in our game. So, finishing out the Manly Seagulls and Warriors game, it was like a thunderstorm came over. You got to see lightning in the background there. But comparatively between the two stadiums, obviously Four Pines, Brookie, as a lot of people know it, it's not the most high next gen stadium and that. And then going to Allianz that's just been built, freshly built, you're paying $15-16 for a hot dog out there, and they can't even keep water, they can't get the drainage system working properly out there. That's not the best sight there on the field, just seeing that rain just puddle up everywhere.
Definitely not. And I mean, Gutho whinges about anything and everything, but man, did he have a whinge about the field.
Yeah, oh, that's great. That's gnarly. Shout out Gutho. We love Gutho on the show.
Yeah, look, Gutho's all right. He's a character. Did you see him hit the old Leighton Hewitt, bro, when he got one call go his way from a challenge?
No.
So he challenged this call, right? And straight away he was like to the ref, oh, that's the rule, right? If he touches it, my player's now no longer offside. And as soon as the ref was like, yeah, that's the rule, before the challenge was even awarded, whether they got it right or not, he was like, come on. He was cheering, even though they're down fucking 30-4.
Oh, bro. And I'm starting to hear a lot more out of it. I watched the Matty Johns show on, I think it was the Monday night. No, yeah, a Sunday night show, the one after the weekend's footy. I think it was Brett Kenny was on the show, and obviously, former Parramatta Eel legend, legend of Parramatta Eels. And he was, spoken about Mitchell Moses being the captain of the future, all the chat around that. And he even brought up Gutho just, chirping to the refs a little bit too much, and it's not been the best side at the moment. So it's not just all the fans seeing it. It's like, the former players are seeing it as well, and it's something to really watch out there for. So shout out Gutho, bro. Just like, just tone it down a little bit, my brother. Just tone it down. I know it's emotional out there. It's great to see emotion, but like sometimes it gets hectic. Like I know when we played the Eels, bro, I don't think his hands came down. He did the whole like the Talladega Nights, bro. It's like I don't know where to put my hands. Like his hands stayed up here. It was
Exactly,
like,
bro. Exactly. Yeah, look, it's your job as the captain to question the ref and hold the ref accountable. But at the end of the day, I see when you chat to the ref, you're looking for shortcuts. You just got to get on with it. You got to play the whistle. And if you think the call's wrong, well, use your challenges more wisely, I guess. That's what they're there now for. Other than that, if you get your challenge wrong, too bad, brother. Shut the fuck up and let the ref do his job. No matter how wrong the call is, bro. Like,
get back to fullback. Get back to fullback and go play some footy.
That's it.
And lastly, before I jump over, the Dragons getting a nice win over the Titans keeps the Dragons in that hunt for the 8. They're probably still the best threat for the 8. Them and the Dolphins would say the 1 to 2 teams. For me, would you reckon about the same?
I think Ned would agree. The Dragons are FIFO, though. 1 week on, 1 week off. It's just how they do. I don't know where they go on their weeks off, but they just disappear into a completely different team. So whoever they got this week, I'll be loading up on because it's their week off. But
Put the house on the Sharkies this weekend, guys.
No, good dub though. Good dub against the Titans team that were finding a bit of form until Cronulla definitely put a cricket score on them the week before. But your Dragons, just get some consistency. You guys can take that 8 spot. It's yours to take. Canberra don't want it. Clearly, they're choking that. So, and we don't want to see the Broncos in there. So please hold on to that spot, Dragons.
And the Newcastle Knights choking it as well over the weekend. That was a tough game really to watch, later on in the game, the field goal attempts and both getting pulled up for penalties, which is like, I was like, bro, where's these penalties come from? Like out of nowhere. They give them sometimes, and then this weekend they don't give them. So the inconsistency is there. But yeah, that would probably rub out the Knights, I reckon, for the run home in the 8, whether a lot of people thought they had a chance even the end of the day too. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, that ruling around the field goals, man, is just going to create so much drama when it comes to these final games that are normally a lot closer. As I think it was Billy Slater was saying, you can't spontaneously take a shot at field goal now because, if you're a half and you drop back in your line, you need to be screaming at your halves to move out, your fronties to move out the way to not give away a penalty. But then you're just playing your hand to everyone to see. So you spontaneously just can't get the ball and feel like going for a field goal at the odd chance that you're going to have a blocker in front of you. So it's just going to be ugly. It's just creating more grey space in our game where the rules just need to be black and white. So,
agreed, bro. Agreed. And we've got a mad question here from Jazzy. Good to see you, Jazzy, again. Question, Brody: if Cappy from the Warriors offered you a 3-year deal to start in our Cup team in 2025, would you take the offer up? Also, being the only club to show interest in your services.
Bro, I'll take any contract. I'll play for fucking Broncos if I had to. I just turned 28. I'm looking to kick back, so I need to at least pay my bills and some for me to go to NZ and play some footy over there. I know the cost of living is even worse over there than it is here in Oz. So, and I can't even afford that shit here. So, look, it'll need to be some good coin, but I'll definitely take it, especially because, the Wild's halves can't goal kick or kick a field goal. So, as long as I can do one of those, I'm in.
Jazzy, stop giving him layups, please, mate. You're giving him alley-oops here. This is not fun. Bro, would you move to New Zealand, though? You would move to New Zealand if that had the opportunity for first grade?
Oh, 100%, bro. If the contract was, that 6 figures or over, for sure. If there was a chance to get picked up, 100%. Even I'd go to England if, somebody reached out from Super League. But, I'm not playing that type of footy anymore to get those eyes on me. I'm just kicking back, cruising. Just for the love of it.
Key word there, guys. Any more. Used to. He used to. I'm telling you guys, you should have put a highlight package out there, my brother. Honestly, I've been telling these guys.
Yeah, it's on pornhub.com. Oh no, not that highlight package.
Yeah, that's the wrong one, bro. You downloaded that the XXX package, bro.
Look, there's some games on YouTube if you really want to dig. Just look up Moreton Bay Raiders. Our game from the weekend got uploaded as well. It's Moreton Bay Raiders versus Brisbane Natives. The week before was Moreton Bay Raiders versus Banyo. So yeah, they're on YouTube. You can have a suss of those. I was grand final a few years ago that I feel like I had a pretty good performance. It was North Lakes Kangaroos versus Aspley Devils. So they're out there, bro, if you want to suss. But I'll like to stick to the secret ones, in case I get found out on the field.
Oh, bro. And yeah, guys, make sure your grand final should be up on YouTube too, right? They will be recording your grand final, you reckon?
Yeah, I dare say they will. So that's on the 30th or whatever 2 weekends from now is.
Yeah. So guys, get excited for that one too, guys. If you want to go check it out, I'll probably put it in a link in the description as soon as that goes live in the next couple of weeks or whatever. So you can check out Brodie on the big stage and hopefully lifting a nice trophy there for the Moreton Bay Raiders. But let's just run into our team of the week, my brother. Obviously, you know, we watched a little bit of footy this weekend, so we got a little bit of knowledge in that. We won't go too crazy with the stats this week, but give us your team of the week, bro. 1 to 13. Look, what do you got there?
I didn't get to watch a lot of the games. I think I only picked up a couple of games on Sunday Arvo, and even then I was like half in, half out. You know, I got some of the Thursday, but other than that, I was doing a fair bit of birthday celebrations over the long weekend for myself. But yeah, no, we ain't doing none of that. But look, we'll get a late birthday present this week again for the doggies. It's all sweet.
Oh, alley-oops, guys. Alley-oops. Let's go, my brother. I go 1 to 13.
Bro. So I've got, you know, the Roosters had a dominant performance. There's going to be a couple of those guys. So I had James Tedesco, Dominic Young, Bronson Sherry, Valentine Holmes, Jacob Kraz, Tommy Dearden, Ben Hunt, Oregon Confusi for the Sharks, which is my smoky, Damien Cook, AFB, Eli Katoa, Keon Kalamatangi, and Cam Murray.
Ooh, we got a couple of similar ones there, which has actually surprised me. So for me this weekend, bro, great minds think alike. Yeah, same thing. Like my fullback this week, I went Keanu Kini. Like I saw some of his stats. I knew we weren't throwing around stats and that, but another week, I know in a losing side, but 346 meters he ran for, a try assist, 2 line breaks, 4 tackle breaks. Like the kid works fucking hard. And I remember just watching, while we were watching the UFC, we put it up and seeing that first opportunity he had with the ball, bang, line break, scored the try. Kid's a freak, right? Kid's a freak.
His work rate is insane, like insane.
Definitely a big future on him, bro. My wingers, I got Jacob Kraz and Dommy Young. Who are your wingers again?
Same, brother.
There we go. Valentine Holmes and Bronson Sherry were my centers.
Same, bro. Same. You listen at all to what I said, or?
Here it is, bro. Here it is. We got Lockie Galvin and Jake Clifford as my halves pairing here.
Different.
We got Oregon Kafusi and Josh Curran. I went Josh Curran in my front row. I thought Josh Curran had a really solid knock of the weekend. Jacob Little was my number 9. My 2 edge back rowers were Luciano Leilua and Eli Katoa. And my number 13 was Cam Murray over the weekend.
Yeah, there was a few there.
Very solid game, very solid game. But, you know, Lockie Galvin had a really solid effort. We both agree on Oregon Kafusi. I know you said that was a little bit of a smoky shout, but his stats were incredible in that Sharkies game. And, you know, definitely, he's got a future a little bit about him. Like, he's got a bit about him, Oregon Kafusi, just consistency, right? That's the only thing for him.
It's probably what hinders a lot of players, I guess, is just finding that consistency.
Yeah, 100%, bro, 100%. All right, running into this weekend, we got your overrated, underrated, fairly rated, my brother. Give us some names, bro. Give us some names.
Because of the big occasion of the Doggies Wars game, I'm going to go with some all-time Doggies Wars players, all right? Starting off with Manu Vatuvei. And be careful what you say because, you know, I think in prison they get this YouTube channel and he might come after us.
I'm sure he's out of prison now, my bro. I think he is.
I hope so, bro. Anyway. If Jared Hayne is out, surely let this man out.
Yeah, bro. It really depends on how people rate Manu Vatuvei. For me, I think he's, I'd say he's fairly rated to underrated. Like, you know, there's been moments in his career, like I think eras where he's biggest drawback to Manu Vatove. There's been games where he just like he had feet for hands, but then there's been other games. As soon as he catches the ball, bro, you know it's night. Like he's gonna break like 5 or 6 tackles, score tries in the corner, and defensively take people's heads off, bro. But what's your thoughts on Manu? Where do you sit on Manu?
Manu Vatove for me is fairly rated, bro. You don't know if you're going to get rock diamonds out of that dude's hands. But look, he was always a character of the game, man, and I definitely think he was fairly rated.
Yeah, 100%, bro, 100%.
All right, now we're going to go on to a doggies winger in Matty Utai.
Oh, you know my love for Matt, bro. I love Matt Utai. So underrated for sure. Like people forget, like you know, he was the Brian Toto, probably not at all the way to Brian Toto's level right now, but he was the Brian Toto before Brian Toto. Like his work rate out of the back end was incredible. Ducking under tackles. He had a couple of stints, rugby league, played a little bit for the West Tigers as well. But his best years, obviously, with the doggies. Like he was a freak of nature on that wing. I loved Matt Utai, bro. So underrated for sure.
100%, I agree. Luke Patton.
Underrated again, bro. Like, you know, I think we all agree. Like, I think everyone agrees. Like, when we start talking about some of the best fullbacks to play the game, I think a lot of people always forget about Luke Patton. I'm pretty sure a guy that never got to make the Origin debut for the Blues.
No, he didn't.
He would have been incredible in that jersey, I really do think. And a solid campaigner. We actually spoke about, Connor Tracy on All You Can Eat. Very similar type of player, probably not to his level, right? But like, if you're looking at the overall, like the overarching stereotype of Luke Patton, like I think Connor Tracy can do very similar things if he just consistently continues on to a Luke Patton. Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. The general's definitely somebody to look up to in that doggies jersey.
He's a good man, bro. He's a good man, but underrated, bro. You going underrated for sure?
Yeah, 100%, brother.
You have to, bro. He's got to be up there for the most underrated fullbacks in the competition. Actually, I'll give you a name after this of a fullback. I know what your answer will be, but we'll go with that a little bit later.
All right. No worries. We'll throw that in at the end. Let's go with Josh Reynolds.
Ooh, I would say fairly rated. More so underrated. I wouldn't say overrated at all because we all know what he was. Like, you know, he was such a big energy ball, went out there, and obviously the achievements he's had in his career, right? Like he's taken the doggies to, grand final, obviously played Origin. A lot of people forget he actually played Origin and that. Like the grub, he went out there, did his job out there, bro. I'd say the only reason why I said fairly rated was more of the fact of like, I would say that people know and love him for what he was. He wasn't anything that was going to be incredibly special, but he worked hard for what he got, and he deserves everything he got, right? So that's where I say fairly rated.
It's a case of hard work over talent. Next, I've got Adam Blair.
Adam Blair. Oh, this is going to be... I've actually brought this up a couple of times, and if you asked me while he was playing, I would have said overrated for sure. But looking back on his career, I would say that he is a little bit underrated for what he's actually achieved throughout his whole career. Like he's had like multiple massive stints for the Kiwis. He was like him and Warrior Hargraves, very similar type of players where they all like the spearheads for that Kiwis pack in the late 2000s that, won a couple of premierships, I'm pretty sure, with the Melbourne Storm. Obviously with the Broncos, almost win the premiership over the Cowboys, and was actually a really big piece to that as well. But if you're talking about Adam Blair, that was in a Warriors jersey. He was a little bit overrated for us there too. So that's why I was like, if you asked me then, bro, I would have said overrated for sure. But looking back over his overall career, I would say underrated. I think the West Tigers years probably hurt his career as well. But yeah, underrated for me.
Yeah, definitely. And that's it though. You know, the great players dare to be great, and they go to less capable clubs and try and be something bigger, and that's probably where he fell into, and didn't obviously do too well at the Wales or the Tigers there. So next I've got Noddy, Brett Kamali.
Noddy, bro, completely underrated. Like there was a part where he was the best halfback in the league. Like there was a period there where he was at Melbourne, a very missing, like a lot of people forget he was at Melbourne. I'm pretty sure he won a premiership with Melbourne early on, right? Please fact check me on that, but I'm so sure we did.
I'm pretty sure he did as well in his first couple of years.
Yep. Yep. And like, you know, everywhere he went, he was holding like massive players back from that 7 jersey around. Like Jimmy Maloney had to move from the Melbourne Storm to the Warriors to get a crack in first grade due to Brett Kamali from memory. So, bro, underrated for sure. You talk about the best halfbacks in the game. I don't think a lot of people even bring up his name at all.
No, which is a shame because he definitely was one of a kind, and he was definitely the Alfie Langer build, the smaller typical
Yep.
half, and he didn't shy away from being one of the best defensive halves as well, in my opinion. So next we got Frank Pritchard.
Frank Pritchard, I would say fairly rated. I think a lot of people would agree that he was a massive damaging prop in the middle. You know, was very vital in that Doggies team, you know, the 2014, 2013 era of the Doggies and that, where you built that massive forward pack. So hard to handle. And I loved his work he did for Samoa in those early years as well. Like, you know, a big key piece, you know, a player that picked to choose to represent Samoa. And he was incredible for their little series as well against Tonga and stuff like that. So I'm going to go fairly rated.
Yeah, beautiful. I've got 2 left. I've got Kevin Locke.
Kevin Locke. You know, we may go back and forth on this because I remember your early thoughts on Kevin Locke as well in high school. Looking back on Kevin Locke now, I would probably say underrated because I do think that a lot of his career got taken away from him. We never got to see the full potential of him. During his career, there was a point where I did think he was a little bit overrated. You know, I remember us talking in high school and that as well. In that era, you know, everyone was bringing up the argument of, you know, Ben Barber versus Kevin Locke. You know, there was like,
should have never been an argument.
That year that Benny Barber showed that. But again, like Kevin would be put down as one of our best fullbacks that we've had, like, you know, up there like Brent Webbs and stuff like that. And his career kind of got taken away. So I'm going to go underrated.
Yeah, I think I'd say fairly rated. I wish we got to see a bit more there from him. So
Yeah.
I don't think he was a bad player. I just definitely think he couldn't walk in Ben Barber's shadow, in my opinion, in those high school days. But hey, somebody thought so. And then my last one is Nathan Friend.
Nathan Friend, I would say underrated. I think Nathan Friend was in the shadow of a lot of top hookers. You know, obviously couldn't get the big representative games due to that.
Yep.
I would say, you know, hard worker. That's probably the biggest tick for him. So I would say fairly rated, underrated. I think a lot of people later on in his career started to rate him a little bit more than what they did during his career. But yeah, underrated, fairly rated.
I would say underrated for sure. He was making 60 tackles before hookers were making 60 tackles. So yeah, Nathan Friend really made that defensive side. I know hookers have always done a lot of work defensively, but 80 minutes, 60 tackles, that was Nathan Friend is the first name that pops in mind for me of the 2000 footy. So beautiful. I like it.
Shout out to you, Jazzy, going hard in the chat. I see, obviously, just bringing up. He's like, what the fuck are going on, fam? I'm here talking like a psycho by myself.
Oh, it's a bit blurry for me. I'm sorry. I can't see the chat. We're trying a new chat out, and I can't quite see the chat is good. It's a bit blurry for me. So
he's talking about other people jumping in on the chat. Nanad, if you're still here, bro, go talk in the chat, mate. Like,
I told you, it's their week off, brother. The Dragons' week off. He's missing.
So the guy I was actually going to point out to you, bro, we're going overrated, underrated, fairly rated. Matt Bowen. Like, if we're talking about all-time
underrated,
fullbacks, bro,
underrated.
right? Like, we talk for all-time fullbacks, he's got to be, I would say he's like, would you have him as a top 10 fullback of all time? That's a tough one, right?
That's tough because there's 10 guys probably playing fullback position this year alone that you can make that case for. You know, so there's still 10 active fullbacks right now that could potentially be fullback, or maybe not 10. We'll say 5. Definitely not. We'll say 5. We'll say 5 active fullbacks right now could make a case for best fullbacks of all time. You got James Tedesco, Tom Trbojevic, Latrell Mitchell, Reece Walsh, RTS. Like Ryan Papenhuyzen, Dylan Edwards. Yeah, you go. We're up to 7. So it's hard, man. And fullbacks, there's been so many great ones. There's going to be so many more to come.
Bro,
where do you draw the line on? Yeah, that's really tough. But Matt Bowen, man, is definitely underrated.
Think of the years, bro. Like, you know, Reece Wesser, Preston Campbell. You have, like, you know, Matt Bowen,
David
like
Peachy.
just the amount of Yeah, David Bro, freak, man, freak. The peach used to be unreal.
Anthony Minicello, brother. Fuck, like.
Yep, career got taken away a little bit too quick. Like, he still had an incredible career, but his back injuries held him back from like becoming, you know, he could have possibly gone down as the best fullback we've ever seen as well. Like, he was up there with Billy Slater and Darren Lockyer for me, for sure.
100%. 100%.
You know, Carmichael Hunt was always a big one for me growing up early in career. Held back Billy Slater from, you know, a fullback jersey in Queensland. So, yeah, a lot of big ones. But yeah, bro, I love that segment, my man. Overrated, underrated, fairly rated, guys. Comment down below your thoughts overall on those players there. Chuck them up in the chat. Your thoughts overall.
Well, at least Jazzy anyway.
Jazzy's going ham in the chat, bro. He's loving it. He's loving it. Kurt Fleming's jumped in. What's going on, Kurt? Appreciate you coming through. Whatever happened to Trent Hodkinson, bro? He was mean at the Dogs. So your thoughts there?
Bro, he was my doppelganger there for the longest time, especially when I got my tats. So, look, bro, Trent Hodkinson was the man. You know, he won New South Wales that origin, that drought. He broke the drought, as everyone likes to remember Trent for. But, you know, I remember him winning a few games for us consecutively by kicking a field goal. So maybe he should have went to the Wilds and he would have got a bigger contract. But, hey, Trent Hodkinson, though, bro, killer. I rated Trent Hodkinson a lot.
People forget again, played Origin as well. It was a big key piece for. I'm pretty sure he was the halfback that ended up winning finally over the Maroons, right? From memory?
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, I did say that he broke the drought of the Origin. Maybe my mic cut out.
I should have listened in. GTGC, sorry, my bro. I am listening to stream while I'm at work. Appreciate you, bro. We've been through those days at our job as well, my brother. All right, my bro. We're going to move over to some Guess Who. We're going to go Guess Who. Yeah, bro. We're going journeys as is. Oh, here we go. Jazzy. Hodkinson is coaching somewhere, isn't he? Iceman.
Yeah, he is the Iceman, Jazzy. I'm glad you brought that up, bro. Field goals, conversions from the sideline, anything you like, that man had it. He was a Nathan Cleary before Nathan Cleary.
That's what I was just about to say. Great mind thinks alike.
Yeah.
All right, my bro. First one for the Guess Who, my man. All right, so this guy, Queensland born. This is a big one here. All right. First of all, guys, I'm hoping this is a little bit of an easy one for you though, but I'll go more easy, then we'll go medium, then my hardest one's a little bit later on. So, all right, this guy is a current player right now. He's actually in your doggy squad, so we'll see how you go here. Started off at Melbourne, 2014 to 2015. Then he went to the St. George Illawarra Dragons, 2016 to 2018. Was at Newcastle 2019, 2023, and then we ended up at the Doggies 2024 onwards.
Kurt, man.
Beautiful, my man. Beautiful. 1 from 1. Here we go.
Easy.
Great player, bro. Great player. Next up.
He is now.
Yeah. Again, bro. An old school doggy. All right. Get excited for this one. 2002 to 2006, Canterbury Bulldogs. He was actually born in New Zealand too. I'll point that out before this, but he's a Canterbury Bulldogs in your prime early years there, the Dogs of War. Then 2007 to 2013 with the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and then ended off his career at Warrington Wolves 2014 to 2015.
Roy Astasi.
Yes, my bro. We brought his name up last time. I knew we'll go again back there again.
Yeah, gave it away straight away, bro. Just doggies to rabbits because I was sad to see him go.
Yeah, big time for him. And you know, we spoke about before. I was so sure that he was a part of that premiership winning side, and I think he may have just missed out on that one, right? And it's pretty unfortunate there. He deserved.
No, he was there in that year. He mightn't have played the game day though.
I think he was the year before. So 2014 was the Rabbitohs year, right? That was the year you lost.
Yeah. Ah, yeah.
He left 2013. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, but he was there in 2012.
He was there 2012.
When we lost to Melbourne.
Correct.
So.
Yeah. But he was at South Sydney.
Oh.
That sucks, right?
It does.
Only one premiership, like, you know, with the Doggies there. He was incredible, bro. We remember that era. Like, Roy Astasi was one of the best props in the competition, right?
Yeah, bro. He was up there for sure.
The big Samoan freak. We got the next guy here. This one is a little bit more interesting. This was a current player right now, and it could be a little bit of a niche one for you. So, you know, he was born in New Zealand. He started off at the St. George Illawarra Dragons, which I had no clue about. Actually played 18 games for St. George. Then he was at the Warriors from 2019, just a solo year with the Warriors, played 1 game for us, and then moved to South Sydney Rabbitohs 2021 to present right now.
Oof. Started who?
If there's any, he started at the Dragons. And from memory, I thought he was in our development system, but by the looks of it, by his profile, he wasn't.
Started Dragons, 1 game for the Warriors.
Yep. And then moved over to South Sydney. Currently at South Sydney now too. He's not an out-and-out starter either. He pops in and out sometimes due to multitude of things. That's my little hint to you.
Yeah, okay. Just thinking. Oh,
loves the suspension.
I've got a player in mind, but I'm not going to say it until I'm certain.
Yep.
Are they a forward or a back?
He is a back, but surprisingly, international, he can play in the forwards.
Well, it's kind of just thrown. Fuck.
And shout out to all the boys working right now. Listen to us. Amazing work. And Jazzy commenting too. Jeez, while working.
It's not Tane Mill, is it?
It is Tane Milne, brother.
Hey,
well done.
That was a pure guess. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was Jacob Host at first, but I was like, I don't remember him ever going to the Warriors. But I was like, maybe he snuck a game in there during the COVID years or something. Because I'm pretty sure he did start at the Dragons. But Tane Mill, man, fuck. Yeah, the only one I can think of in their back line that hasn't been at the Rabbits was him.
Yeah, bro. And I honestly thought that he came through our development system, but judging by his Wikipedia, which is not always fully correct, he actually started in the Roosters development system.
Do not quote Wikipedia ever again, bro.
But he was actually he played for the junior Kiwis coming up and all that. And I thought I gave it away a little bit when I was like, he loves the suspension, because that bro loves the suspension.
Bro, I don't think he thinks about anything he does. He's just there.
He's rocks and diamonds, bro. Like he does some things where I'm just like, what are you doing? And then he does some things like, what are you doing? That was amazing.
He's an NPC, bro.
It's different, bro. Shout out to Tane Milne, bro. Shout out to Tane Milne. And last one, bro. This is our Legends mode. This one could be a little bit easier than thought, but we'll see how we go here. So he was born in Brisbane, Queensland. He started off with the Brisbane Broncos from 1999 to 2007. He went overseas to Hull FC from 2008 to 2010. Then moved back over to the Warriors for a single season, 2011, our grand final year. So he was a big key cog in that team there, 19 games. And then ended his career, which I didn't know he ended his career here. It just like blotched out of my memory. Ended at the Canberra Raiders 2012 to 2013.
Oh, shit.
He's a representative player as well too, bro. Queensland, Australia.
The first player that jumped to my mind was Shaun Berrigan.
You're incredible, cunt. What's
is that right?
There?
Is that right?
Shaun Kerrigan, yeah.
Bruh. Oh, this is not staged. He did not give me the answers or anything. I dead ass just straight away jumped to Shaun Berrigan because I knew he played for the Bronx. I didn't know he went overseas though, and then I knew he did go to the Wars. And then for some reason, I just had in my mind that he played for Canberra. I don't know why or where, but it just spoke to me.
Bro, I legit, like, my mind blanks. I've never remember. He played 36 games for the Canberra Raiders. That's like, obviously the Broncos in like 3 teams he's played in NRL. That's his second most appearances for a team. I don't remember him at the Raiders at all.
I guess nobody really watches Canberra games.
Yeah, I guess so. Too cold.
Yeah,
too cold for the TV.
It's the politics are more important.
Yeah, get on ABC, watch the politics, bro. But yo, that will do us for our Guess Who. Some really good names there. Also, I want to shout out Kurt Fleming in the chat. Just a fun fact, my bandmate's first cousin is Jeremy Smith, mean player in his day. Do you remember Jeremy Smith, my bro?
Jeremy Smith, I do. I can't remember his face, but I remember the name.
Enforcer, bro. Enforcer.
Jeremy Smith.
Absolute freak.
He had the terrible ratty? Like he was bald with a terrible ratty? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
You're not thinking of a party, are you?
No.
I'm not sure if he had a ratty. He definitely loved to be clean shaven. Had a nice little tattoo. His career here, actually, we'll go through his little bit of career. He went from Melbourne 2004 to 2008. Then he went to St. George 2009, 2010. I thought he played for the Wars at one point, but obviously not. I'm guessing.
I thought he played for the Wars as well. But yeah, I do remember Jeremy Smith. For some reason, I thought that he had a terrible ratty. He maybe did for one game or something. But yeah, it's the dude I'm thinking of.
It is the guy. He played Queensland residents in 2005, but played majority of his representatives for New Zealand. But yeah, I remember, bro, enforcer, like an absolute enforcer. So
yeah, every time I used to watch an Australia versus New Zealand game, Jeremy Smith was always amongst it. You know, he was always putting in work. That's a good shout out, though. So many players, that have graced the NRL. So many.
Bro, and he might be a guess who in the future. Who knows? So keep that one in mind.
Hey, just say the bald dude that you thought had a ratty, and I'll be on it.
All right, my bro, we may as well end off our night tonight here, guys, with our Punters Paradise. Before we jump through our tips of the weekend and our bets for the weekend here, make sure you gamble responsibly on whatever gambling platform you use. And also, if you do need help, go check out any of your gambling hotlines out there. There's Australian ones, New Zealand ones. You guys do the hot work to check out those ones there. Before we jump into it, a good little question here from Jazzy. How do you guys rate the bro, Greg Eastwood?
Intercept King. Intercept King.
Love him. Love him.
He was a
100-meter race, bro.
Forward. Yeah.
Great minds, bro.
Get on,
Great
Greggy.
minds. He's a freak.
Get on, Greggy. Honestly, bro, he was a different beast. Honestly, man, and the wax he would put on, bro, you don't want to run at that man.
Bro, I just remember, like, you know, early career, you know, Greg Eastwood, he was one of my favorite players when watching the Broncos early days. Him and David Staggs, when they did the move to the Dogs, like, it was a big one. Like, when you got that forward pack together, he was an absolute freak, and people forget about Greg Eastwood. He was a gun.
100% a gun. Anybody put that dog
coaching.
Not anybody, but most people.
Heard he's coaching now, Jazzy reckons. So I wonder where he's coaching, Jazz. I haven't kept up on his, like, coaching career, but...
Yeah, they normally all stay around the game somewhere, don't they? Find a coaching gig or a water running gig or Channel 9 News if you're good enough.
Shout out Willie Mason on Channel 7.
Oh, yeah, Big Willie on Channel 7.
I love a Big Willie on Channel 7.
Hey.
Anyway, moving on to our tips of the weekend. All right, bro, jumping over the screen here. First game of the weekend, we got the West Tigers and the Manly Seagulls. West Tigers currently in last position. Do you think this is a game they can get back off that bottom of the ladder? I think they need a couple of games in hand, but not too many ins and outs in this lineups here too. Adam Douei's out in this lineup, bro. He's out due to injury. So Junior Tupou makes his comeback off of injury. I'm pretty sure he's out injured to start this year. Obviously, a guy moving over to the Dolphins. But who do you have in this matchup here, bro?
Bro, Manly by a cricket score. And my bet is Tom Trbojevic anytime. And then you got Lehigh, Jason Saab, and Ruben Garrick to combine for a hat trick. I've been having a great success with this the last few weeks. The one I posted up a fortnight ago actually got up. Can't remember what game it was now.
Guys, better be jumping into the chat. Let us know if you are getting up on the bets. We're bringing it to you on Wise Up TV here on Down Unders. But I'm with you, bro. I think this one could be a massive blowout. Manly Seagulls got a really damaging attack. They can go both sides. You know, when you got Olakuatu on one side with DC, that's willing to feed him the ball anytime he wants to. But then they could just go, we'll just go out the back with Tommy Turbo and Ruben Garrick and Jason Saab down the sideline.
And Blitches. Yeah, exactly.
It's a freaky lineup. So shout out to the West Tigers. Hopefully you don't get smoked by a ton this weekend, but definitely a tough game for you guys coming up. Massive game for us, obviously, brother. The best game of the weekend. What do you reckon? Best game of the weekend, right?
100%. Any time that Doggy's jersey's on the TV, it's a massive game. Hey, the bandwagon's got plenty of space for you guys that aren't playing finals. We will happily take you guys. It's fine.
You already know that. I'll be there, bro. I'll support your boys in the grand final, mate. If you make the grand final this year, who knows? We'll see how we go.
Might have to fly down for our finals game for sure.
If there's no fuck. If the Broncos made it with Suncorp Stadium, we'll go to preliminary. But
hey, the Dolphins, but they're not going to get a home final.
Yeah, true. That sucks. That sucks. Anyway, my bro, your tip for this game here. Don't go too crazy on us. There's a Warriors fan channel, please, mate.
Now I'm going to go the doggies, but I'm going to go a fairly close one. I think it'll be close again. It showed that last time. I'm going to say doggies 1-12, but I reckon it will be tough. There's going to be high emotions for the Wars, and they'll be keen to play. And they've got nothing to lose, so they'll throw the ball around. And a team that doesn't have anything to lose is a dangerous team. So,
yeah. 100%, bro. And quickly before we jump off, I already know your personal thoughts of Jarrell Skelton leaving and going to the West Tigers, but a good little pickup for the West Tigers there, an underrated piece in that doggies development. Jarrell Skelton, an absolute freak, right? I just see him in the reserves and want to touch on him.
Yeah, he's got a lot of Brian Toto in him. Same build, same meter eater. Obviously not Brian Toto standards yet, but yeah, I'm sad to see him go. But we can't keep him all. And I wish him all the best. I hope he gets a lot of game time at the Tigers, and I applaud him for daring to be great by going to a struggling club, and hopefully can turn them around and be a key piece. Definitely buy him on Supercoach for next year.
Bit of Greg Marju about him too, eh? He's
Greggy
definitely
Marju, that's a good shout.
Yeah, bro. But for me, you got to know, I got to support the boys in this one. I'm going to go to Warriors in a close one as well. I think this is going to be like a 2-point game, 1-point game. And it's really going to come down to hopefully Shawnee having a big moment in some at Shaun Johnson Stadium, mate.
If it's a 1-point game, brother, it ain't going to be you guys. I'm sorry.
We got Shaun Johnson back, mate. He's our field goal kicker. He'll do it for us.
We'll see. We'll see.
You just remembered it's a Warriors fan channel, right? No.
I own this channel.
Just like you own Suncorp Stadium, right?
I own Suncorp this year. Every game, and every team I needed to win there, won there.
Wait, and watch the segue. Moving on to the next game, we got Suncorp Stadium. We got the Broncos versus the Eels. Obviously, the Bulldogs bitch the Broncos. Coming in against the Parramatta Eels. No, Reece Walsh broken his hand a couple of weeks back. Obviously in that Cowboys game, so really saw a miss for the Broncos there. They're still without Payne Haas and all that. Selwyn Cobbo comes back into the lineup though. Obviously with all the indiscretions going on in his personal life there. Tristan Sailor back in the fullback position, bro. Do you think with this limited outs, no Ezra Mam as well, with the Broncos, do the Eels have a chance there at Suncorp?
They definitely got the forward pack. Oh, actually, no, they don't. I don't know. This one's a coin flip. I think that I'm going to go with the Broncos just for the home advantage. I think it'll be a fairly close one, though. I'm going to say, Broncos 1-12.
Yeah, I kind of lead back to their game that they had at Bank West, or was it CommBank now, where they were really, really close. They were pepping the Broncos, and the Broncos, that strike got them home. But the only difference is they're not at CommBank, and the Eels play amazing at CommBank, and we're at Suncorp now. And usually the Broncos like to turn up at Suncorp, other than the game against you guys.
I think they'll get the job done.
Yeah, I'm going to sway away the Broncos as well there, and with those two teams, bro, it can go 1-12, it can go 13+. It depends on who really gives up at the end of the day, and it could be a high scoring one for sure. Would you go overs in the scoring, you reckon? No defense there.
I would go overs, and that probably leads into my multi. I definitely think Jesse Arthurs we're going to try. He's been on a bit of a drought for a while, so I'm going to go him anytime, and then I'm going to go Sevo, Arthurs, and Selwyn Cobbo to combine for 3, and that's paying 310. So sneaky little odds.
Love it, bro. Love it. Guys, get on that one. The bets will be put down in the comment section later on when I get time. Next game over the weekend, we got the Canberra Raiders versus the Penrith Panthers. This will be going down at Canberra Stadium. Obviously, notable outs. No Nathan Cleary due to that shoulder injury. He should be back by finals time, but definitely a decent out for the Panthers. But no Ethan Strange for the Raiders as well. So Jamal Fogarty will be paired up with KO Weeks, and Jordan Rapana will go back to fullback. So no Adam Cook here. Adam Cook's in the reserves. Was a really interesting move there from Ricky Stewart, pushing KO Weeks to that 5'8" role again. Your thoughts on this one? Do you think Panthers by a decent margin? Jerome Luai back in that 7 jersey?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Are their back rowers back in Liam Martin and Scott Sorensen? I haven't actually had a look.
Liam Martin's back, but no Scott Sorensen, bro. Maverick Geyer is in that position there.
Yeah, look, I reckon the Panthers don't lose 2 in a row. As much as the Raiders be trying to turn around their performance from last week, I don't see it happening this week. But I won't say it'll be a big blowout. I reckon maybe Panthers by 12.
Yeah, All right, sweet, bro. I'm definitely going the Penrith Panthers in this one, but I'm going to go the way I think it could blow out. Seeing the Raiders, how they performed over the weekend. I know they're back at home. They probably should turn up at home, but we've seen the Cowboys put decent score lines on the Canberra Raiders at home as well. And having, Jerome Luai back in that 7, I think they're just going to be a little bit more, off the cuff sort of the Penrith Panthers side. But I'm excited to see this game overall, to see Penrith, obviously, with Jerome Luai back at number 7. So I'm going Penrith Panthers, bro.
Sure.
All right, next game, we got Melbourne Storm versus the Dolphins at Amy Park in Melbourne. Obviously, Melbourne Storm are really tough to beat down there in Melbourne, so a tough task for the Dolphins to go down there after their loss over the weekend to the Bulldogs. Brother, not too many changes in these lineups here. You'd probably go Melbourne and Melbourne, you reckon?
Yeah, look, I'm going to go Melbourne and Melbourne, and I really reckon they'll be trying to win this week to sum up that minor premiership. And they could pretty much do that this weekend by getting that dub, and then Bellamy will look to probably rest his players in the coming weeks against particularly the Broncos in that last round, as he does every year once he knows he's got finals summed up. So, if they get the dub, I dare say that he'll start to look to rest a few players and alternate the players, I reckon.
And actually, one big notable out, Grant Anderson's out in this lineup here. So the Mr. Fix-It, Tyron Wishart, bro, what a freak of nature, playing on the wing now.
Put him wherever you want, man. That dude is just a footballer, eh?
He's incredible, bro. He's incredible. Also seeing Suat Fa'alongo make it back to the bench due to, obviously, Wishart going to the wing. So excited to see that young bloke go out there and absolutely kill it.
Yeah, expect a late change. I reckon Wishart will go back to the bench and Fa'alongo will go onto the wing.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, smart call, bro. Smart call. Didn't even think that at the top of my head. But yeah, I'm going Melbourne Storm here. I feel for the Dolphins a little bit. They're draw at the end home, trying to make it in that 8. It's a really tough one. You get Melbourne and Melbourne. Not many teams go down to Melbourne and get it done. $1.18 for the Melbourne Storm. You got any multis in that one?
Nah, I haven't had a look at that one yet. I mainly just target those Thursday, Fridays for this chat. But I'll definitely will probably have something on there.
Yeah, sweet. We might look at doing like a little group or something. You know how like Sportsbet have the little group where people can sign up and follow your bets for the weekend? That might be the best way to do something like that.
Yeah, for sure. We'll call it Down Unders and we'll go from there. We'll do dollar bets on there. Yeah, let's do that. We'll get that rolling.
That sounds gangster, bro. We'll do
no more than
like
a dollar punt. Dollar on the nose.
Love that. Gamble responsibly, guys, as
Fucking
always.
Have some fun with it. You're not going to get rich off it. Trust me.
Let's go 1 for 1, baby, and build that account to thousands of dollars, baby. Let's get rich.
Let's do it.
All right, we got the South Sydney Rabbitohs versus the Newcastle Knights at a core stadium. No Cody Walker for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. No Tyson Gamble for the Knights here. Two pretty decent out. Well, Cody Walker's a massive out for the Rabbitohs here. Do you sway the way of the Knights, or is the core stadium big enough for the South Sydney Rabbitohs to get it over the top of this one? This could be 50-50. Kalen Ponga maybe is the edger here, maybe?
Yeah, look. The only thing I know that's going to happen in this game is probably over 50 points combined because, both teams' defense has been a bit average as of late. The Knights actually probably showed a bit better defense on the weekend. They're pretty evenly matched. The Knights don't have too bad of a forward pack, and the Rabbits forward pack's pretty underrated. Just haven't performed this year, but the back line I think is where the Knights probably might have a bit of success. Ponga wheeling and dealing, whereas the Rabbits got a lot of outs in their back line. So I'm gonna go the Knights by 6.
Knights by 6. I'm going to run there with you, bro. I'm going Knights 1-12. I think the Knights. I think the Kalen Ponga factor. Just looking at both these sides, just a big key piece there with the Knights. That's a good attacking piece that should get them over the top. And as you said, that back line: Fletcher Sharp, Dane Gagai, Dylan Lucas, Greg Marju, comparatively to Jai Gray, good little up and coming piece. Fletcher Myers, a nice little up and coming piece as well for the Rabbits. Tane Milne, we just spoke about Tane suspension waiting to happen. Richie Kenner, very similar. And Jacob Gagai. Right. So
what's the odds on that? Who's the outsider at this stage?
The Rabbitohs are 276.
Yeah, okay. So the Knights are decent favourites. So
probably not a lot of value there unless you're going to look at Rabbits try scorers, maybe.
Maybe the line.
Jack Whiten by himself.
Jack Whiten, show and go, typical. Yeah, for sure.
See that happening for sure.
Cam Murray off Cookie. Yeah, I could see that.
That's a good one. Yeah, straight off the rock. Knowing the Knights, they could fall apart in the middle a little bit. Big forwards, tied forwards. I could see that.
Cam Murray
I think
anytime.
Peter,
Get on it.
Cam Murray anytime.
Yeah.
Maybe multi that with Jack Whiten, guys. Go double.
Ooh. Yeah.
I know Jackie hasn't scored in a little bit, but
Yeah, you're right. And he'll have the ball in his hand a lot more. So,
yeah. Off the cuff ones here, guys. Off the cuff ones here. This is what we do. Next game of the weekend, bro. We got the Titans versus the Roosters at C-Bus Super Stadium at the Gold Coast. Not too many big outs here for the Gold Coast Titans by the looks of it. Just Josiah Pohulu. And with the Roosters, Connor Watson is out of this matchup here. But Nat Butcher comes into that 13 jersey, and they'll run through pretty much the same 1-17. Your thoughts on this game here? Obviously, the Titans are coming in pretty poor form with their last two performances being 13+ losses. Do you think the Roosters add that to 3 in a row?
Nah, Titans by 40. Hey, you never know. You should know. You should know.
They played well at C-Bus. We know this.
Nah, look, I think the Roosters will beat them, but I definitely think David Fifita will have the biggest game of the year for him. And I dare say he will score a try. He'll really want to prove something to not only himself, but to Billy Slater, D'ing up on Angus Crichton. He's left edge, so he won't be on Angus Crichton. But particularly keep an eye on David Fifita. He will want to score a try, and he will want to have a big game. So David Fifita, anytime try scorer, and he's going to be at decent odds for a try scorer, unlike he normally is for the Titans. So, and he hasn't scored in a few weeks, so have a look at that. I reckon David Fifita will be about $4. Angus Crichton also hasn't scored for a few weeks. I've been waiting on him. So potentially go Angus and David Fifita, both anytime try scorers. That would be nice little value for sure. But yeah, Roosters, without a doubt. The
matchup, Dave Fifita versus Victor Radley, is going to be a really, really good one, I reckon. That's something to definitely watch out for.
Radley Simbin, put that on.
Radley Simbin taking heads off. Talking about suspensions and people loving suspensions.
But he's due. He's due.
Bro, has he been suspended this year? I think he's had a good year.
He's definitely been suspended, I reckon, for sure. But he hasn't been Simbin in like maybe 3 weeks, so he's due.
And the big key name, I actually forgot to name in here, Jared Waerea-Hargreaves returns back into this lineup as well. So that's actually a pretty key in for the Roosters. So it's going to sway me the Roosters, probably 13+ as well. I think that they can get it done there. Then again, maybe the Titans can throw up something, being 3 games in a row. The odds probably, I don't know. I'm going to go Roosters 13+ at C-Bus.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, last game of the weekend. And Nad, you better be in the chat, my bro. Your Dragons going up against the Sharkies and going off form line. This should be a loss to the Dragons, but they are outsider coming into this one, bro. 227 to the Sharkies, 164. But I would say this is at WIN Stadium, and the Dragons play really great footy at WIN Stadium. So your thoughts on this game? Bro, no Talakai, no Katoa for the Sharkies as well.
Yeah, this one's going to be a tough one. I think maybe the Sharks have a bit too many out, and as good as Blakey Brayley's been doing at half, I think maybe it will catch up to him this week. And I know it's going against the Dragons being week on, week off. So
notable in Braden Trindle is in that 7 jersey now.
Oh, well.
Does that change things?
That changes my tip again. Who's on the other wing for them?
Samuel Stonestreet. He's actually a really solid winger, right?
Oh, well, he scored 1 out of like 4 times over the line the other week. So, but yeah, he's solid debut nonetheless.
Yeah.
Oh, look, flip a coin. I reckon maybe the Dragons got the ability to put the grind on Cronulla here and strangle them. Whether they do or not is a different story. So,
agreed.
Give me the Dragons 1-6.
Oh, he's going against the form line. I love
going
it.
Against the FIFO. Going against the FIFO.
I will go with you. I think WIN Stadium is big enough for the Dragons, bro. I think that, like, if we've seen the Dragons have their best performances at WIN Stadium, they've had some big notches in their cap. Obviously, beating the Manly Seagulls there. They beat our Warriors there in a really dominant performance. They've had a win over, I think the Penrith Panthers was at PointsBet, but it may even had a really good performance at WIN Stadium. I'm not too sure. That's a little bit cloudy there, but I'm going the Dragons. I'm going to go against the form line. 227 is actually not bad odds for a team. But then again, you're right. They're up and down every sort of week. So It could be chucking $5 down the drain. Who knows?
Hey, we've done it before.
We'll do it again.
Thanks,
We'll
Izzy.
do it again. All right, my bro. Anything else to end off with? You got a weekend off of your footy this weekend too, bro. So obviously big recovery for you.
Yeah, bro. Probably work, get some dosh, catch up a little bit in that regards. I've been kind of putting that on the back burner a little bit with the overtime, trying to keep the body and mind healthy and ready for footy. But 2 weeks left of what's been, well, feels like it's been a long season, but I've actually had a fair bit of time off this season. So, but yeah, keen to kick back, probably watch a fair bit of live footy, and really relax until we're done the footy season, and then starts to warm up. It's already starting to warm up here in Oz, so start to get to the beach again.
100%, man. 100%. I'm so excited for summer to come back around again, and it's actually warming up a little bit back over here in Australia. There was a little period there where us Aussies were on here online complaining about how cold it is, and I know you Kiwis are over there going like complain about the cold. Gee, but. Yeah, bro. Hopefully a really nice weekend. Hopefully, a cracker game on Friday night, guys. Make sure you tune into our my watch along Friday night. No Levon, he'll be at the game, as he did say, on All You Can Eat Warriors. So come check us out. We'll be doing a full credits to the boys as well. So keep an eye out on all Wires Up TV. Also, guys, make sure if you really want to, feel free to jump into our membership program. $5.99 a month. You guys get really cool little emojis. Throw them up in the chat, guys, if you are a member right now. And a little bit more to come there, because obviously a little bit more members are coming in, so I get the chance to show off my creativity with a little bit more emojis for you guys out there. But yeah, any last thoughts, bro? Obviously, up the wires, baby.
I'll be in the chat on Friday, and I'll be letting you know that I'm there too, brother.
I'm excited to see you in the chat, bro. I'm excited to see you in the chat. Hopefully no tears from me, huh? Hopefully no tears from me.
Bro, I might give you a box of tissues at work on Friday just in case, eh?
Oh, here it is. Turn it up. Up the Warriors, baby. Shaun Justice Stadium. Let's get a win for Shawnee. Take it easy, my brother. Have a good weekend, all right?
Laters.